Hello everyone. Today's assembly is on gender equality and I'm Mrs. Durrett. Last year I delivered an assembly on the female lead, talking about successful women in business, sports, the media and many other industries. A lot of these women were self-starters and worked incredibly hard to achieve the success they did. They all had one thing in common though, the adversity they faced by being a woman. I talked about one of my heroes, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who inspired me with the following quotes. Women belong in all places where decisions are being made. It shouldn't be that women are the exception. She said, "We are at last beginning to relegate to the history books the idea of the token woman." And possibly my favourite quote, "Fight for the things you care about, but do it in a way that you will lead others to join you." She became known as the notorious RBG, and that was for a number of really positive reasons. She sadly passed away last weekend, but her legacy lives on with the continued improvement in women's rights being seen all across the world and particularly the USA. She refused to let sexism stand in the way of her becoming a lawyer and was one of 9 women in a class of 500 at Harvard Law School. She said she was often told that she was there as the token female and often denied opportunities through her training as it was thought a man was more suited to the role. She graduated in joint first place in her class, but yet could not get a job. All top law firms wanted a man. She eventually secured her first role, but felt she had to constantly prove herself and work harder than everyone else. While studying, she was also a mother to a very young child, and she commends and thanks her husband, who is also a lawyer, for taking on more of the responsibilities in the home, such as childcare and housework, which allowed her to pursue her dream of being a lawyer and then a judge and then a Supreme Court judge. She's certainly a woman who has managed to do it all, but it didn't come without a fight. She fought and won 8 out of her 9 Supreme Court cases about gender rights, both for men and women. She was clever in that she also brought cases where the men were the plaintiffs, and therefore that helped prove her case that it wasn't just about fighting for women's rights. She was fighting for gender rights and gender equality. She acted as a mentor and role model for other women entering into the profession. She spoke openly about gender equality and helped pave the way for many improvements in the working conditions of women. She was a feminist, nicknamed, as I said, the notorious RBG, and she will be forever remembered. But of course, a lot of her work was based in the United States of America. What about gender equality in the UK? Well, the 2020 Sex and Power Index from the Fawcett Society, a women's rights and equality charity, charts how women remain missing in significant numbers from top jobs in politics, the law, civil service, trade unions, charities, professional bodies and sporting bodies. The index, published on Monday the 13th of January of this year, also revealed an alarming lack of women of colour across the top jobs in all sectors. Sam Smethers, the Fawcett Society chief executive, said, "Despite much lip service about the importance of having women in top jobs, today's data shows we are still generations away from achieving anything close to equality. We are wasting women's talents and skills." She added, "Male dominance of positions of power remains strong." As this 2020 Sex and Power Index shows, if we want change, we have to make it happen ourselves. That means quotas, targets, policy interventions to remove the barriers to women's progression, and action and knowledge from every female in this country. The report detailed how many women are in top jobs in different sectors, including the law. The Supreme Court now has 2 female justices. That said, it's out of 12, so 17%. And since its formation in 2009, there have actually never been any minority ethnic Supreme Court judges who were female. In business, just over 1 in 20 chief executives of FTSE 100 companies are women. None are women of colour, and that's problematic. Education, women make up 39% of secondary head teachers, a rise in 6% since 2005. In media, women comprise 21% of national newspaper editors, with 4 women in top jobs. In sports, 21% of national sport governing body CEOs are women, down from 26% in 2018. Only 4% of football clubs who have ever been in the Premier League are led by women. In the House of Commons, 34% of MPs are women, up only 2% in the recent election. BAME women now make up 17% of female MPs, which is in line with the population as a whole. And in the House of Lords, the proportion of women is at 27%. Only 2% of all peers are women of colour. So whilst we're seeing vast improvements in women's positions in society, it's far from equal and it's far from representative. This saddens me, as I'm a liberal feminist who truly believes that women's rights and opportunities have grown significantly over the past years, but yet clearly there is more to be done. Now, during lockdown, due to the COVID-19, a study showed that British women did almost twice the work at home that men did. Though British fathers are picking up more household responsibilities than they ever did before, and certainly before the outbreak, an acute inequality nevertheless emerged between parents during the shutdown. Mothers were putting in 4 hours more on average a day than fathers in caring for children in the home. One female-dominated sector did not close: healthcare. 79% of the workers are women. Apologists for women's inequality in the labour force often rely on the canard that men are paid more because they do more dangerous and important work. Well, fighting a contagious and potentially deadly virus surely counts as dangerous and important. And most of the faces on the front line of this crisis were female. Yet even in the healthcare sector, women are paid less. And even in a pandemic, health workers have to worry about childcare. So as I said, we are far from having gender equality. But things are improving, and things will continually improve as long as awareness is constantly raised amongst our young women in society and anyone wanting gender equality, which surely should be everyone. So my message to you here this morning is this: don't let your gender or anyone's preconceived limitations of your gender stop you achieving what you want to achieve. And that's any gender. All genders should enjoy equal rights. Find your role model, perhaps your female hero like I did, who you can aspire to be like. Make change. Fight for equal rights, just like Ruth Bader Ginsburg did for her entire life. And believe that gender equality can be achieved in our society and in our lifetime. I'm going to leave you with one final quote from the notorious RBG. It is wrong to judge people on the basis of what they look like, the colour of the skin, and whether they are men or women. Thank you for listening. If you're still interested in wanting more, there's an optional 3-minute video at the end. Thank you.